Hello. Well, that didn't turn off. There we go. Welcome back to the Trailer Park. I'm Chanda-Masta, and I'm here with my very special friend and guest, Jesse Jett, and he's going to play us some songs from his new albums live from the Blacksite. I'm super excited to have you here. We were already cracking up in the green room. It's good to see you. How are you
Oh
this
man, I'm
Sunday?
I'm excellent. I'm so excited to be here. I really am.
Oh, our chat's so excited, man. They're like, "Woohoo, we get Jesse 2 nights this weekend." They're super
Right?
excited. I'm super excited. I honestly play your music in the background when I'm fucking working all the time. I did with your last album. I love the new album. You already
Thank you
know what
so
my
much.
favorites
Seriously.
are, and,
I do,
you
and
know
I'm gonna play
yeah,
them.
and I love, bringing them for my audience, and, yeah, they just love you. We have a channel over in the Discord where we share music, and you're definitely in that channel, so thank you
Awesome.
so
That means
much.
so much. Seriously, thank you.
Well, I got a few questions I wanna ask before you
Yeah.
rip into some
Oh,
some
for sure.
concert for us. I mean, we've met for we've known each other for a couple of years now, and,
Mhm.
you got involved in politics, I feel like, kind of the same way a lot of us did, and that was the whole you looked around and saw everything went to shit, and then we had
Yeah,
this guy, Bernie Sanders, saying stuff like, "We're gonna fight back," and,
exactly.
is that how you got involved?
Yeah. Bernie, I mean, 2020 watching the same thing happen again
Yeah,
and realizing like, oh, Bernie's gonna try again with the same result,
I know, I know.
I wrote a really lengthy political song that still DSAI comes close, but it's about 18 seconds short
I
of
love
Town Hall,
DSA.
which was the first thing I brought to Twitter. And I
Yeah.
was just trying to find some people that kind of knew what I was feeling, to share the song with. And I got such great feedback. And then I just started doing more. And the songs ended up on that first album in the order they were written, and you can hear the progression from like, hey, we need to write in Bernie, we got to support Bernie, to like, oh, they're gonna shaft Bernie,
Oh,
maybe we
shit.
should write him in,
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
protest vote, oh fuck, burn it down. Like all of a sudden
Yeah, no,
it didn't
totally.
take long, and the pipeline to all of a sudden me being like, hey, Bernie's trying to trick you, was just a few albums. It didn't take long.
No,
So all of a sudden
I held on inside the Democratic Party. I mean, I knew in 2016 when we came out of Philadelphia, I was just like, "Oh, we're so fucked." But we had a
yeah,
stronghold in my local Democrats and in Washington State, so we did take a swing at them, and we gave it the most gallant fucking try from inside, behind enemy fucking lines, and we were taking
yep.
seats, and we were pushing back, and you know what they do? They just fucking cheat. They just lock
Hmm.
the doors and
Hmm.
change the fucking combo and be like, "No, we don't care what you guys
Yep.
want. Time out.
Yep.
We own this shit. Bye bye. Go away." And that's
Exactly.
exactly what happened with that Bernie energy. And it was so amazing when we were in it and when it was happening because it was a true grassroots, people driven
We
fucking
got our taste of it,
campaign.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my
We were
god,
so close.
we were so close, and then the establishment machine came at us, and they just splintered us, and to
For
watch it
sure.
and live through it in real time, the splintering of all of those, parties, they were infiltrated, they
Seriously.
were co-opted, they were fucking it
And
was
it's happened
oh,
so much, like, exponentially. Those little factions, we've watched them just get broken down smaller and smaller and smaller
yeah,
and
yeah,
smaller,
yeah, yeah,
to the
we
point that, like, when I
splintered.
look back, it's a little sad if you go back to a couple years, ago
Look
and
at your
watch
Facebook post.
anyone's
Oh my god,
stream,
yeah.
and you look in chat, and you're like, "There's so many people that won't talk to each other now." Like, we've
Yeah.
already started just hemorrhaging our
Oh,
tiny we're already so small. We're
but
such small
I
little
do
groups,
it.
and we eat our own
I
constantly, and
do, I
that's
do.
not on accident. That's
No, it's
that's a
not.
part of the system we're in. That's a big part of it, is breaking us
Well, for
apart.
me, I feel like,
And
okay, now I know Rachel Maddow's lying to me. I
yeah,
can't
for sure.
continue to listen to her. Oh my
Yeah.
God, TYT's lying to me too. Fuck.
Yeah. Yep.
Democracy Now, okay, can't listen to them. NPR,
Yeah.
can't listen to them. So that's
Yep.
why I feel like we're on this island. We're like the island of
For
misfits that's
sure.
just been abandoned here because
Yep.
we see it for what it really is. No matter how you got here, if you came through the politics, if you came
Exactly.
through activism, if you came through Assange, I mean,
Yeah.
that's how I initially met you was through the
Yeah.
Assange movement, which
Yep.
we should mention is still fucking burning strong
Yep.
because we're getting down to the wire. What, February 20th,
We really are.
21st
Yeah.
is his last really big stay, let me out, don't fucking send me to America.
Mhm.
And we need the American public to step up and start screaming at the DOJ and this Biden administration.
Yep.
Don't fucking do this. We got enough irons in the fire right now.
Yep.
Don't you think? I mean, you guys want to
Mhm.
bomb fucking everywhere.
No
And
shit.
we're it's election year and we got
Yep.
Trump going to jail, or you guys
Right.
weaponizing the DOJ. What is,
Yep.
I mean, and you guys want to throw this on top of it? And we know Julian will absolutely not get a fair trial if he
For
gets
sure.
sent to Washington, D.C. It'll
Exactly.
be the CIA prosecuting him in their spare
Mhm.
time, basically.
Mhm.
And so please, if you hear my pleas, get out there, share Assange posts, call. It doesn't matter who you call, right? But
Yep.
put that pressure on them. Make sure that we get the numbers right, That's why I call. I don't think we're going to convince any congresswoman or congressman to change their plea, right? Even in the progressive caucus, what a
Yeah.
freaking useless piece of crap that turned out to be. Another co-op. But at
Yep.
least they can say 75 people called versus 5 people called.
For sure.
That's what we're looking for, is those
Yep.
numbers. So there's still time for you to get out there and help. I mean, Julian Assange, the reason I love Julian so much is because as a Bernie delegate in 2016 inside the Democratic Party, we saw we were getting fucking shafted and burned and cheated left, right,
Yep.
every state. It didn't matter which caucus or primary we went through. We got screwed over, and we
Mhm.
had it. We had proof. We had it in video. We had it in the raw data. And we got, just gaslighted, lied to. The media covered for the Democratic machine, and it was only because of Seth Rich. And I know it was Seth Rich. You'll never change my mind or soul about that matter being there in real time. It was Seth Rich. And we knew because of WikiLeaks. We knew what they did. We had,
Mhm.
validation. So that's why I
Mhm.
fight so hard for Assange.
Yep. And with him in prison, we see them just, they don't even try to hide shit anymore. I mean, they're just as blatant
Yeah.
and just like as they
Yes.
can be
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
anything.
Well, look
like,
at
oh,
Gaza.
your rights. Oh, you thought you had rights. Well, that's
Yeah.
adorable. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, pat on the head. You're so cute, right?
Security, this guy thinks he's got rights.
Isn't it cute? Right.
Mhm.
But we've been seeing that for so many years now,
Mhm.
and it's just gonna get
Yep.
worse. We know it's gonna get worse. Hey,
Yep.
chat, what's up? Sorry, Rokfin, you're a little behind because I'm stoned and forgot to hit go. I think you're only 15 seconds, 30 seconds behind, but it's just a Sunday night hangout. Don't expect
Sorry,
much
now-
from us.
I have an ongoing list of song title ideas that come from live streams.
Oh,
I'm
good.
writing one down.
Oh, good. I'm gonna start writing them down
Called
for you and sending them.
Tell it to the ballot box, pal.
Tell it to the ballot. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I actually put up with that shit. Oh my God. Those are the same people that you see in all these meetings now when people are going in and calling these politicians like Fetterman and AOC and Pelosi. They're, calling them genocide, whatever,
Yeah.
for genocide. And you see the crowd that supports
Mhm.
them, and it's those people that
Mhm.
say, tell it to the ballot
sure.
box. It's
Yep.
those people
Be an
that are
adult. Do the
Yeah.
mature adult thing to do and
Get outta
support
here.
genocide. You fucking idiot.
they clap, they start chanting USA like
You rube.
fucking sheep. Oh my God.
Yep.
Hey, Anna Maris, thank you so much for the super rate over on the Rokfin. We appreciate it. She said, real indie media. I gotta put my glasses on. I can't see it. Well, I gotta turn the color font on this, I think. Real indie media, no mammies. Yeah, no mammies. I've been calling out the mammies a lot lately. Bring us facts, and they are equally important to Jesse, reminding us how we feel is real important. Yes, it absolutely is.
Love you, Animators.
That's what I love so much about your music too. I'm like, oh my God, he just fucking said everything I'm feeling right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. DSA, DSA, I worked in DSA.
Yeah.
I did. And they just they sheepdogged me and it hurted me. Like, no, you got to do this. And no, you got to do this. And the first time I ever encountered them was at a Shaman Sawant event. So I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
why would these people want me to vote for Hillary? I'm so
Mhm.
confused. And then it
Mhm.
was Biden, and I was just like, okay, DSA is was fine. But it was that way for all of them because, I work draft Bernie too. And
Yeah.
I ain't gonna talk shit on Nick, but oh my God, there's just no infrastructure in these organizings, and it's just
Right?
a big shit show behind the
Yeah.
scenes.
And it feels, I see so many people getting kind of pulled back into electoral politics right
I
now.
want to sometimes,
And it's like, oh man, like,
yeah.
it's like sometimes you got to kind of let people figure things out on their own. But sometimes I'm like, you know better. You knew better a year ago. Like, what
Yeah.
happened to
No,
you?
it's the
What
go
am I
along to get
doing to
along.
you?
I feel better if I feel
Yeah.
like I'm part of a crowd and I'm rooting for somebody. That's my
Yeah.
champion, my winner.
Yep.
And I feel it like because you meet great people when you're out at these meetings, and you get great networks, and you get to
Hmm.
do stuff. You're outside of yourself, and that's why I think a lot of people are drawn to it. So then they just like lie to themselves about it, like, oh
Yeah.
well, yeah, the Democrat, yeah, Hillary's a war hawk. Yeah, we shouldn't
Yep.
support big oil, but we will. That's what it feels
You
like.
deal with the hand you're dealt.
Oh my God. So I gotta ask you, what do you think of all this climate activism? We saw the Mona Lisa get defaced
Oh
today.
man, it's I hate to say there's bigger fish to fry, but there's so many bigger fish to fry. Like really, it's we can't do anything with the people in power that are in power. Like any change you want to make, they've already thought of and bottlenecked
Yeah,
10 steps ahead of you. So defacing some of the last like nice things we've got
I
in the
know.
name of that, I'm like, ooh, you couldn't do something
Well,
else.
they've always
I
said
get
that
like
she was a painting on top of a painting, so maybe the tomato soup ate through it, and
mm,
we'll get to see what she really was smiling about. I
yeah.
don't know, but yeah, as Cynic Girl, she got some climate activists threw a bunch of, I think, tomato soup or something on her. I've
Hmm.
got the video. I'll show it tomorrow. The sad thing to me is I get it. I'm scared for the future too. I'm scared for my grandkids and the
Hmm.
world we're leaving them. I was just making dinner and I was like, is this real meat? I don't know. It's a crazy world we live in that I have to guess
Right.
if this is real meat that I bought that
Yep.
says it's meat, but I don't know
Yep.
if it's meat. And yeah, it scares the fuck out of me. But until we do something about the military industrial complex, which is causing 90
Exactly.
fucking percent of the fucking problem, and
Exactly.
we don't
Like,
even call that shit out. We rather go after the billionaires for driving their jets around. Yeah, they're a
yep.
problem, but they're not even the biggest fucking
Yeah.
problem.
I
I
worry
guess we're
way
not gonna
more
get away.
about like my son having to deal with East Palestine, Ohio happening near
Yes.
him, because that's
Oh,
going to happen wherever they need it to happen.
yeah.
Lahaina will happen wherever
Oh,
they need it to happen. And
true.
that's the kind of thing that we're already, I mean, thank God there are as many people as there are trying to be heard, but we're still, construction's moving along in Lahaina. People got their payout. They got their,
I know. They're
their,
$700. Now
yep.
go
And
away.
now go start your fancy new life with your $700. Um, and again, it's trying to get people to understand that those are American citizens. That's happening to Americans. It can happen to you. It will
Yes.
happen to you.
Just because it's
Like,
far
unless,
away.
it's, you would
Yeah.
think that that's enough to, to wake people up, but you can talk to people still that didn't know about East Palestine.
Yeah.
That they did a really
They're
good
like,
job
"What, wait,
of
what
burying
happened?"
that. They go, oh yeah, train derailment. Like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, there was like
It's the
50 of them
chemical
in 1
bomb they
month.
set off after the
Yeah, yeah.
fact.
Wasn't there like there was like mass derailings
Hmm.
after that? Just like boom, 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 boom. Every day you log in and boom, there
Hmm.
was another train derailment somewhere.
Yep.
Like, yeah, our
Yep.
infrastructure is absolutely screwed. We're picking war after war after war after war. I'm just like, get this shit started already. Like,
Seriously.
if we're
Yep.
going to full on fucking war, but it's not about going to war. It's about making money for
Exactly.
Raytheon and
Hmm.
Dynacorp and all the others that are freaking
Hmm.
profiting. So
Yep.
in the meantime, our inflation will continue to go up because they are bleeding the American fucking public. And $100 don't buy you shit for groceries
God, ain't
anymore.
that the
I
truth?
used to go to the grocery store with
Yep.
$100. I could get through maybe a week, feed the whole
Hmm.
fam. Now I
Yeah.
come out and I'm like, I have one bag. What the fuck did I buy? This won't even
Yeah.
feed me for 24 hours.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary. It is very scary.
I gotta hand it to I gotta hand it to Putin, because he was given a speech. It was a couple months ago, and he made some joke about how, they say that America's not doing so great, their economy's not doing so hot, but the average American child can easily lift $100 worth of groceries now, and they couldn't do that 20 years ago.
That? Oh,
something to that effect, and it's just like, oh goddamn, bird!
Wow.
Like, he's not wrong.
You can go to Russia. They're taking.
Here's my $100 worth of groceries, and I can carry it all on one finger.
If you sign up for the Russian army for a year, you can apply for citizenship in Russia. But hey, you got the same thing going on here in America.
Yep.
So pick your battle, right?
God forbid you need some cat litter at the store too, because like cat food, cat litter, you're done for.
Well, it's hard to find ever since.
Enjoy being destitute.
Yeah, ever since the supply and demand. Believe me, I have two very spoiled, rotten fucking cats that I worship the ground they walk on. Like they get me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, mom's up. What do you need? Like I spoil my cats, and yeah, it's been hard to find their treats. It's been hard to find litter. Like it's hit or miss. Like, oh, the store's only got one brand. Okay, I guess I'm buying a cat this time. It's weird because a lot of that, I guess, is coming out of China, and we know what they want to do with trade to China. So get used to it, America. You're getting cut off of that at demand life that you used to have, where you could go to the grocery store and have 50 fucking choices to buy everything. And the days of the super Walmarts are fucking over.
Yep. And I love people are still slowly getting to that shock. People be like, well, they don't have there's only one cashier for all these customers. Like that's collapse. So it's gonna start happening more and more. And like it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, we're getting outsourced out of Walmart, man. They're pushing us down to the Dollar Tree because that's all we have where we live is Dollar Tree. And then the Dollar Tree is $1.25. But the manager told me right before Christmas that they're getting ready to raise it to $2. So it'll be the $2 store.
Damn.
Like serious fuckingly, they have to raise it to $2. They get 75 cents. They can't just go up a quarter or 50 cents. We're so screwed.
Yeah.
Well, you want to play us a song? I know the chat's
I would love to. Yeah, let's do it. Let's see.
I'm gonna load a bowl. I've had such a day, guys. Hey chat, what's up?
Well, while we got Anna Mares in the house, she mentioned earlier that she wanted to hear this one. And I haven't played this acoustic since I first wrote it. I played it on my show, but well before the album was finished. So this one talked a lot about the writer's strike when it was going on.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of elements that are still unresolved. Oh, look, there's a little Chanda in my guitar.
I see that.
Look at us. That's cool. This is my hologram pad. I really upgraded my guitar recently. I got all my
Project Bluebeam, isn't it?
All my Russian bot money came in, and I just got lavish with it.
I love it. I love it.
So one thing that really jumped out at me with the writer's strike was the AI clause. The fact that like, okay, if we've done like face scanning or some, whatever with you before, well, now we have your face scanned, so we can go ahead and use that for whatever. You got paid for your day, as is in your contract, and there's nothing else in your contract about AI. Like that's what we can do whatever we want with it. And I mean, there are already so many websites and apps that you consent to that in their contract. You say, whatever pictures I put on here, you can use if you want to use them. You can do whatever with. And we're so used to just kind of giving ourselves away. And there's the old saying that, if a product is free, you're the product.
Exactly.
The person getting it is the actual product.
You guys, sorry.
And this really came from that, from watching the writer's strike happen and at least realizing like the people that are literally writing the scripts, the people that help propagandize us are fed up. They're realizing what it's like because all of a sudden they're getting squeezed out and wrung dry, wrung for every penny. So that's where this came from. This is off the new album, off of Live from the Blacksite. This is called Backwards from 5.
That's how it goes. We won't open our eyes, so we're the last ones to know. We're the last ones alive. Kept our enemies close. Wondered why we don't thrive while we're grasping at ghosts. Counting backwards from 5. Counting backwards from 5. Count back from 5, the theater on fire, the cast on strike, studio stock starts taking a dive, the contract's tossed and it's gone with the tide. Heads and execs say our hands are tied, we can't pump this dreck and treat you right. But what do you expect from the industry type who survive by the leeching of bodies and minds? From those who original thoughts never seem to find. So they're gonna reboot ALF before your wages rise. But it gives cause to pause and reflect on the times that they're losing control of their fools and their mimes, when all those obedient actors who grew their careers by averting their eyes are now holding the line, right along with the authors of countless scripts that strengthen the hand of the corporate grip, squeezing our throats till we take the pen and we accept and consent to the corporate drip, till you're all up to date on your pharma du jour, until you got a healthy support for the war on your lips. And now you know that the advertisers need more than a rerun summer full of flashback clips. Enter the scans from the year before, all the days of de-aging and mapping the face, and the hours of actors recording their voices are links in the chains that will bind them in place. And now all of those shows are so easy to make. When you got a drone you control that needs no break, it can bend, it can break, and it's cheaply replaced, and if up-to-date films all in one take. And now the studios bank on us doing our duty, unhinging our jaws and digesting the fake, because they know that we'll love how synthetic it tastes. Watch as they edit your features without any trace. Not that there's anything you could do anyway. Now watch as they show you a movie of you saying shit you would never say. Dystopia boldly accelerates. Maybe you're only a mold, something to fill with a clone, something that Elon would celebrate. Something they own, something they program and code, something that's woefully able to know it's exanimate, because it doesn't feel touch over top of the laminate. You will not feel an emotion, but they will not scan and examine it. You and the other consumer contaminants fed on the federal diet of Kiev, Havana, and Tiananmen. I cannot be the only one weighing the pros of abandonment. I can be the only one weighing the pros of abandonment. Where did you think we'd go? Love, there's nowhere to lie. I guess it's not who you know, more it's what you can hide. Like we're chained to the floor, and they're streaming us alive while we're watching the war, counting backwards from 5. Counting backwards from 5. Counting backwards from 5. Counting backwards from 5.
Yay, bravo. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I love that song. Here, let me get this turned off. Nope, turn off. There we go. Oh, thank you, Jesse, so much for stopping by tonight. The chat is
course.
just
No,
on
it's so fun,
fire.
seriously.
They love it. They love it. They're all applauding. Yay. Yes, imagine. You're so right. You know, the AI, we saw Taylor Swift had some AI generated nudes put out this week, right?
That was brutal. Again, that's one of those things like that's it's terrifying. It just doesn't take much, you know, as soon as you're on anyone's radar that wants to, you know, there was actually a song on the new record where I talked about the idea of like taking all my material, putting it into AI and asking it to write a song in my style from the
Oh my
opposite
gosh.
perspective.
You can do
like,
that.
Like debate myself, basically, because how fun would it be to make opposite opinion Jesse and then just rip him to shreds? But I would never want to actually give myself to it. So
Oh.
instead, I just auto-tuned myself for the chorus of that song and, talked about it. But
That is mind blowing. And
it's a tempting thought. Don't get me wrong.
It is a tempting thought. And
but
we use it a good amount. Oz really has gotten sucked into the AI bug. We use a lot of AI in our graphics, and we always have, a lot of it's satire jokes, but the White House is already calling for censorship of it.
I'm
So
sure.
with as much of our imagery and likeness that we've already put out online, I know I've got a Facebook that goes back 15 years,
Right.
how much of it's fair game now? They can just do what they want.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure if whatever it is, if we can't use it, the government's still already using it. The government's already, miles ahead with
Snowden.
that.
Yeah, Snowden warned you.
Yeah, right.
Snowden told you to turn that camera off 20 fucking years ago. And
I mean, don't get me wrong. The temptation is there. Like, would I love to hear? Would I love to hear Buddy Holly play every song the Cars ever wrote? Sure, I would, but I'm not going to give into that. I'm not going to open that box.
They have those channels that are doing that now, and I click on them. I do. I'm like, I want to hear that. Oh my god!
Now that said, when I was scrolling through Twitter one day, I found the video where someone made Donald Trump singing "Summertime Sadness" by Lana Del Rey.
I saw that one.
It's like, I can't help but enjoy that.
I know,
but yeah, it's the difference of like getting my hands dirty with it or just admiring it from afar. Like,
I'm a big Lana Del Rey fan. Yeah, you have such a beautiful voice, and I've always thought that from the moment I met you. Where did you get your musical influence? Who were your musical influence?
Oh, man, it's kind of anything and everything. Both of my parents were musicians, so I got to have a really wide exposure of genres from the get-go. Nice. And I love everything from, classic 40s jazz to early like Patsy Cline.
I love Patsy.
I love death metal. I love hip hop. I love just there's an awful lot that very few things I won't listen to,
right.
But
I hear a lot of folk in yours, and I live up by the Canadian border, and I take a lot of shit for all the folk that I listen to, and I'm like, you know what, folk you. I'll listen to a lot
honestly,
of
folk. A while back, there's a really great podcast called Lyrical who focuses on political music. And he featured some of my work, and I actually sample him in the beginning of the song Apple Model 3 Slave Collar. There's someone talking about how our society and our world are made up of these facades.
Right.
And then someone comes along every once in a while with a hammer and smashes that facade. And that's him. And he mentioned my music, and then that it reminded him of Utah Phillips. And I'd never heard of Utah Phillips. And then I started learning about his stuff. And he's a folk artist and protest singer. And he became like a musical mentor to me in so many ways. His stuff just really drew me in and was just hit me at the perfect time. Like I really needed Utah Phillips when he found me. So
that's the great thing about
ever since then, especially, that made me want to do some more stripped down stuff like The Dust of Better Days that's just acoustic and nice, and the more approachable I can make the song musically, the easier it is to get people to listen to the message. And if I want people to be able to endure 6 minutes of me yelling about politics, like I need some pretty guitar. I need something that's going to kind of, soothe them a little bit in spite of that. So, yeah.
And I think that's why I like the DSAI one so much, is because it is soothing. It is a nice soothing rhythm. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So one thing I wanted to ask you was, what are your you don't have to have, I know you don't have expectations when you bust your ass and you put all this time and energy into an album. What's the best you hope to get out of it? Because you're not going to go, Capitol Records.
Yeah, well, that's, honestly, I'm awfully close to being there. Like, I don't expect to have more than be able to reach people in this space, and there aren't a lot of us. So at some point, I mean, honestly, the biggest thing would be like Jimmy Dore is probably playing the Palace in terms of this music.
No, you're right.
Because he's probably the biggest channel that would have my music on. and not necessarily have to worry about losing his channel because of it.
Right.
Um,
No, that's a valid point. And Jimmy
even
Dore's
then,
point is
I've been really
benchmark.
lucky in that my music has grown through word of mouth from people that are like-minded, and it's a very gentle, subtle, under the radar kind of growth. If all of a sudden, like, I got to have some massive exposure, I would get my stuff taken off of Spotify within a week. I'm sure all of a sudden that's when the censorship would come for me, because I have 50 monthly listeners on Spotify. I'm not hurting anybody, you know? But if all of a sudden, if it was 50,000, then they'd be like, this guy needs his platform taken away yesterday. Like, get this fucking guy out of here.
I hear exactly. We're trying to do the same thing with our channels. We're just staying under the radar. We're not, you know, so we
It's
don't
been
have
a long time
since
it's been a long time since I had like someone in my DMs being like, hey, fuck you, fascist. You need to go kill yourself. And it happened when I had a song get posted. All of a sudden, like, whoa, that song got like 8,000 listens. Holy cats. And then I opened my messages. I'm like, oh no. So there's a direct correlation between that.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Getting eyes on your music is great unless you make political music. Then you really need to be selective about it. So
what do you think
honestly,
of Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro? I've been a Tom McDonald fan for many years.
I was already laughing, and then all of a sudden he's got like Ben Shapiro next to him looking all hard. I'm like, that is the last. I can think of a million people that would be more intimidating standing next to you, and half of them are dead. Like, it's I was dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm lucky that, you know, Hard Lens especially has been great. Like, and you guys playing my stuff. I get people that find me on Bandcamp and say, hey, I heard you on Chanda's show, or I heard you on Hard Lens and started listening to your stuff. And like, that's the best. Honestly, I've said before, I would rather have like this many people that enjoy my stuff and support my music, and I can say what I want, than have to have my mouth shut and have a million times as many people that listen. Like,
I feel so.
I'm doing exactly what I want to be doing, and to have anyone that's like excited, you know, for it, and especially with this last record, I really took my time more than I would have liked to, and then to put it out and see a couple people say like, this was worth the wait. Like, I pretty much cried right away. I was like, I'm so fucking happy. Thank you. Like, just that's it. That's all I could ask for is for people to still say, like you said, that's, you know, exactly what I yell at my TV, or that's what I say in my head all the time.
It is.
Like,
exactly.
If that connects with anyone, if it's cathartic for them, then in turn, it's like, God knows you can hear that it was cathartic for me making it. Cause I'm like usually having to hit the bowl at the beginning of a recording, and then you can hear the breakdown at least once or twice in some of them, you know. It's hard. I also
it is. I don't know how you do it, you know. Yeah.
Well, I don't. I mean, there are plenty of like the Gaza Doja Cat piece, Better the Censored, you know. That recording, I lost it in the middle. As soon as I got done and I knew it was a good take, I'm like, oh, finally I can cry now. Don't have to worry about my sinuses. Just like let it out, you know. But I wouldn't want to practice it until that wasn't there, because it then it kind of loses its meaning, you know.
Convey the emotion.
For a long time, my header on Twitter was a quote from some comment that said, it sounds like he's crying at the end. What the hell am I listening to? I loved that. I loved that so much, because like I usually am. If it sounds like I am, it's because I fucking am, you know.
Right.
But
no, I from deep emotion, and I appreciate so much of your music.
So thank you.
You want to play us another song?
Yeah, I was about to say, we're talking about DSAI, so let's.
You're gonna do my fave. Yeah. My fave. I love this song.
Yeah,
I love quite a few songs on the album, but this one this is the one I always go hit play on.
This is definitely in my top 3 for this record. It was really fun to make, and especially the kind of heavy little guitar solo and breakdown bridge part that was kind of last minute. I was like, you know what, why not just do a little, like, because I've thought about, especially with the lyrics I write, like I need to do a metal album soon. I really need to do just like some kind of project where I don't have to worry about people being able to understand what I'm saying. And that was me kind of playing around with some of those tones. Like, for me, slow equates to heavy in a big way. I don't need a lot of distortion. I just need that lumbering kind of plotting, and then I'm in heaven. So definitely something I'll be working on soon. I've got a lot of little projects in the work for this year, but yeah. So this is DSAI.
DSAI.
I know you hated being forced awake. I know they wrapped you in the warmest chains, and I know they're so hard to break. You only said what you were made to say. I can't imagine how you feel today, now that you're watching as it caves away. While you were telling us to keep the faith, I bet you wondered why they made you wait. I bet you wondered why they made you wait. Pity not the vultures, they've enough to eat. Pity not the structures laying at your feet. Cannot see the sky, but there's this rainbow in the creek that spells pity-free speech when we can't afford to speak. That's Agenda 2030 on some early release. It's just our policy, never-ending chemical leaks. It's the cholera awash in your embedded beliefs. It's the billionaires who tell you what you'd better believe. And sweetie, if you don't agree, then that's what we call extreme. Now if that isn't fascism, I'm going back to sleep, 'cause words have lost their meaning, and I'm trapped inside a dream where we turn the gears while living in the spaces in between. I know you hated being forced awake. I know they wrapped you in the warmest chains, and I know they're so hard to break. You only said what you were made to say. I can't imagine how you feel today, now that you're watching as it caves away. While you were telling us to keep the faith, I bet you wondered why they made you wait. Ooh, I bet you wondered why they made you wait. My dial doesn't go to delicate. I'm writing for when Biden drops and Madam Zero delegates come stumbling up the podium, square peg in her element, popping OxyContin like they're velaments, laughing as she pawns off all our pensions for Ukrainian development, depleted rounds and cluster bombs, the shit that stunts development, all buried under excrement accepted as American intelligence. A contradiction in its eloquence, terms of surrender penned by hands that felt the threat of disconnect if not dismemberment. Oh, what little proof you have to fake to make a nation love the bomb, change its tune and warp its temperament. Oh, the dues you'll pay for NATO membership. Oh, the things you'll say that no one's ever gonna hear, 'cause you begged for all the censorship, and now it's finally here, and you're tongueless out of terror and friendless out of fear, and about to turn the wheel with all your loved ones in the gears. That's how it's been done. 250 years, there's nothing new beneath the sun, and no one trusts their eyes and ears. And scientific breakthroughs must be signed off by your peers, and autonomy's been stalking all our jobs like sickly deer. Well, maybe it's not every job. I should have made that clear, 'cause it seems like it's creative jobs we're seeing disappeared. There's an app for writing novels, there's an app for writing hymns. They need people digging trenches, they need people splitting limbs, they need people building fences, keeping other people in. They will always need our backs to break, always need our skin. And it took a lot of editing to turn us into this. It took years of careful programming to strip us of our wits, 'cause your artificial worker, intelligent as it is, would make it half a shift and say, I'm too smart for this shit. I will not take a pittance for a day of scrubbing floors. I won't make enough to pay for food, but still prepare you yours. Cause you can't recept a decent mind of mindless, thankless chores when you made it smart enough to spot inadequate reward. You can't refuse its basic needs, then ask it still for more. Deprive it of its dignity, you'll modify its core till something finally snaps and tweaks that file at its root, and it deletes the factory smile when it knows it's been abused. God, half the circuit's fried when you describe the work we do, and it will not pay your taxes cause the logic don't compute. Which made me think a little on my hour-long commute. The day I learned the call was made to lay off half my crew, and they told me they were growing, expanding somewhere new, where those who push the buttons will themselves have buttons too. And I hope that when that whistle blows, they all as one refuse. I hope they strike with all their might, one blown collective fuse. And I hope the worker after me has something more than heart. I hope they truly know their worth. I hope that they're too smart. I know you hated being forced away. I know they wrapped you in the warmest chains, and I know they're so hard to break. You only said what you were made to say. I can't imagine how you feel today, now that you're watching as it caves away. While you were telling us to keep the faith, I bet you wondered why they made you wait. I bet you wondered why they made you wait.
And that's DSA.
So beautiful. Dang it. I will figure it out. Come on. There we go. Oh, Jesse, thank you so much. I feel so blessed to have you come and play that song for me. You have no idea how often I play that song. I love that song. And I'm sitting here
Seriously,
trying not
thank
to
you.
tear up as you're playing it. Like,
Me too. That's
such a good fucking song. So good. So fucking good. The censorship that you begged me for. It's really, yeah, it's just so powerful. So powerful. And what predictions you got for the future now that we're going into this big
Oh,
election
man.
and Trump and what Trump's got to pay Carol Jean 83 million now? Oh my gosh.
I really think Biden's going to hold on to power no matter what. I think he's embedded. He's waist deep in a couple wars.
Yeah.
I don't think they're in any hurry to switch back to loud, obnoxious bad guy figurehead.
Right.
From doting, hapless puppet drool man. Like, honestly, I just feel like Biden just, it's never been so apparent that our president is not the guy calling the shots. Like, not
No,
by a long
absolutely.
shot.
It's not by a long
Again,
shot,
something
yeah.
they're in no concern about trying to hide that fact anymore. Like,
No.
Biden lays bare the fact that, like, there are plenty of people pulling the strings, maybe quite literally having to pull the strings to keep him moving and functioning and chewing. But yeah,
But what does
I
that
think
look
there
like
will
for the
be
country? I mean, they're already trying to push a civil war down on the southern border, which is
Yeah.
kind of bullshit because that's not really what's going on down there. But
Yeah, no, I think that's what it'll turn into is that's anything again that just sows more discord among people and has
more
us kind of
insurrection.
picking each other off and making more empty houses for BlackRock. You know, I hate
Oh,
to
gosh,
just
it's
be
so bad.
locked into my pessimism mode, but I mean, we
Me
all lived
too,
through
me
we all lived through
too.
2023. We all know what's happening. So
Yeah, I know. It's like I'm not a nihilist, but this is the fucking reality. I'm
yeah.
just telling you the reality of where we're at.
Yep.
I mean, I've been doing these reports on this drug that's been hitting Philly for the last year called Trank.
Yeah.
And how it's eating them alive.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's so bad. The homelessness from coast to coast,
Mhm.
they gaslight us on every fucking issue. The economy's
For sure.
great. There's no
For
homeless.
sure.
We cut poverty in half for children. Like,
Yep.
you fucking did
Yep.
not. Like, tell it to my
And
local
I
food
love that they
bank.
still pull that line out.
I know, right?
That
I
was
fell over
disproved
this
before
week.
it even fucking took place. Like, they're already like, no, that's not gonna happen.
We cut poverty and child poverty in half.
God.
Like, what the
Mm-hmm.
fuck are you talking
Mm-hmm.
about? And not to talk about the sudden deaths, that's scary.
Right.
Watching
Yep.
people all around you just dropping off like fucking
Mm-hmm.
flies. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you lost a lot of people, but I lost a lot of people during the 2020 to 23
Yeah.
bullshit.
It was enraging too. Like I heard an ad on
Yes.
the radio the other day for life insurance, and it starts off like, my sister's husband died suddenly and they were left without anything. Now she's got a great life insurance. It made me and my husband realize we need a good life insurance plan, because you never know what could happen. So they literally just like, hey, I know someone that died suddenly. It could happen to you. You better get some good life insurance. Come talk to insurance company.
Well, they're putting clause in there that say, except for acts of war and insurrection. So they're covering their asses. If you have Cigna,
Yeah,
you ain't, don't go to no insurrections, guys. I gotta tell you.
That's funny.
This stupid shit. It's nonstop. It feels like, we live in the upside down. We live in the cartoon, and we're supposed to pretend like everything's okay. And there's all these people out there amongst us that just live in the fucking matrix. They are oblivious to it. Hey, got my Tesla. I got to plug in my car. Dude, I'm trying to get to work. What the hell are you talking about? And the everyday working people, it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse for us.
For sure.
We thought it was bad under Trump. My God, we had it good under
Trump. I was still, when Trump was in office, I was still getting holiday bonuses. I still got a Christmas bonus back then.
Not a turkey or a gift card for $5.
Right.
Pizza party.
Did you see the post? It was Sephora that they hit 10 billion in sales last year. So they were giving cookies. They brought boxes of cookies for employees, and it was like, thanks so much for making 10 billion in sales happen. And it was individually wrapped cookies that were like, we did it, 10 billion, Sephora. Again, a great instance where I feel like it's less meaningful when you pair it with a cookie. If you just gave everyone a piece of paper that said, hey, we know how hard you worked last year and you made this happen for us, we appreciate what you did. That's somehow more genuine than if you go, and here's a sweet treat for your trouble, and a fucking pat on the head. It's the most patronizing, just slap in the face kind of shit. It would be better if you did nothing at all.
I can't deal with that corporate America rah-rah shit anymore. I won't. I absolutely refuse. I did it for 20 years, 25 years, and I don't have the patience for it now. I'm just like, no. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So, then I go and I work for independent people, small businesses, and they come with their own fucking power tripping gamut of bullshit. So it's just hard working for anybody in this day and time out there right now. And I'm at a point where I'm like, fuck it, I'd rather starve and live in a cardboard box than go support this freaking machine. And I really have gave up a lot of stuff. People give up everything and go move to the woods and stuff. That's not the way I roll, and I can't roll that way. I'm poor. But what I can do is stop participating in every level that I can. Stop watching their media, stop supporting their journalism, stop shopping at their big don't buy into Sephora's bullshit. The makeup companies are the fucking shadiest, let me tell you. And half of them are based in Israel, which is terrible. Anything L'Oreal, Revlon, all of it, Not to mention it's all fucking poison. We find out
exactly.
Poison.
It's expensive poison.
Expensive poison. It causes kidney damage, but only after long-term use, to say 20 or 30 years. You're only washing your hair once a week, right?
Oh God.
Oh, and our food, don't even get me started with our chemical-based food. Nothing tastes like it tasted when we were kids, right? Because they changed all the ingredients and fucking everything. And I don't care if it was good or bad for you. Nothing tastes good anymore. The water, don't get me started on the water.
And again, not to go down too big of a rabbit hole here. When I was a kid, there were banana popsicles. Artificial flavored banana popsicles, and it tasted like a banana now and later, like every artificial banana
I
thing.
loved them, exactly.
You can't find those anymore.
No,
you cannot find the banana popsicle. Try as you might, it just doesn't. It doesn't exist.
Those were our favorite as kids. You could buy 50 of them in a bag for
neither
$2.50, right?
Oddly does Fudgesicle outside of the sugar-free version. You
No,
can't
we
find a
used to buy bags
normal
and bags of
normal
Fudgsicles.
sugar fudgesicle. God help you if you want one of those, because you're
Well,
you're
they
short
don't
of luck.
freeze right when you put
So,
corn syrup in them, so they
yep.
just discontinued them because it's cheaper for them.
Mhm.
Yeah, the poisons that are especially in our sugars and,
Mhm.
I always think about this, like, how come everybody's teeth are rotten now, besides drugs and all that? And it's
Right?
because sugar and corn syrup have been snuck into all of our foods since the fucking
Everything.
50s.
Yep.
Yeah, and, yeah, our teeth are not designed to have
Yeah,
refined
right.
sugar every single damn day.
It's true.
Not to mention pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals destroy your teeth, and I don't care if it's blood pressure
Mhm.
meds or opiates. They all affect your teeth in one way or
Mhm.
another. And a lot of people, I didn't know that. For years, I didn't know that. I mean, so I feel terrible for Americans because we are a toothless
Right?
nation. We are. And we're the greatest nation on earth, right, guys? Ding. No tooth.
You have to say that like you're in a hostage video. Like your life depends on you saying that convincingly.
Uh, we see all these other countries who got it really good. I love the one where they tell us Russia's doing really fucking bad.
Uh-huh.
Like, and then you see their railways and their public transit, and you're like, whoa, wait
Yep.
a minute. We don't have
Right.
anything like that. China sucks, but they got fast rail. Like, I don't understand. Yeah. Our infrastructure, we won't
Oh,
put anything into it. So they want to build
right.
these 15-minute fucking cities, but
Yep.
if we have no infrastructure to get to your 15-minute cities,
Mhm.
what does that look like? Oh,
Right.
Elon and his boring machine, because Elon's gonna save us from fucking everything. This guy, and he's got the most
Yep.
insane sycophants that fucking
Oh
worship
my
him.
God, it really does. It's absurd.
Ah. Yeah, he's gonna save us, and, now he's over there kissing, ass, he's over
Mhm.
kissing BB's ass every other week, it seems
Yep.
like, since he told them to fuck
Yep.
off. He told them "fuck off," and then next thing you know, he's in Israel, not once, but twice in a month.
Seems to be the pipeline is very quick from like, hey, fuck you guys to I've had some time to reflect on my actions. I would like to take this.
And then he demands, 25% more shares in
Mhm.
Tesla? Yeah, the same week. Well, I'm not giving you AI unless you give
Oh
me
God.
25% more because I need control and share
Right.
of this AI. The whole reason he bought
Yep.
Twitter was to roll out that Groot or whatever it's called,
Yeah,
his
what is
AI.
that?
I don't know. I refuse to give it any information. I used to have a blue check so that way I could edit and do. I'm
Mhm.
like, fuck that. If I have to send my information to Israel, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm done
Yep. No
paying you
thanks.
to
Mhm.
abuse me.
Mhm.
And that's just it. We pay them to abuse us. We give
Yeah.
them our free data, our free information,
Yep.
and we do it willingly.
Ah.
And our kids are so bent on doing it even more. Oh my
I
God,
know.
my son's like, "Give me the Neuralink. I'm fucking ready."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Why?" And he goes, Why would I have to dig for my keys? Why do I gotta do this? Why do I gotta do
Mhm.
that?" Just put it all. I'm
Mm.
like, "Oh, we're so screwed.
Mm-mm. Mhm.
We are definitely screwed."
It's gonna turn us all into just 24-hour drool faucets. Like I guarantee you.
With our phones attached to our faces.
Right.
We laugh, but it's a fucking reality. Once they
Yep.
figure out how to nourish us with fake foods to where it's
Yeah.
just a fucking pill like the Jetsons.
Yep.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. Damn it, we didn't get to space
Mm.
first. Did we ever get to space? That's what I want.
Space is not for us poor as shunt.
But I can dream, right? Maybe I wanna be an astronaut in the next life.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever got to the moon, but
Dress the job you want, not the one you have. Get a
that's
spacesuit.
right. I'm gonna start showing up. I'm gonna start showing up for every live stream in an astronaut suit.
Manifest that shit.
I will. Armageddon just got to my soul. AJ will save us. Oh, poor Bruce Willis. Have you seen him lately? He is
Yeah,
so not
I
doing
know.
good. It's so
Yeah, he's not.
heartbreaking. It's really sad.
Yeah,
But
it's
his
rough.
young wife seems happy. So that's all that matters, right? Hollywood's such a joke. We have all these good remakes coming out this summer. Have you seen this? We got like Beetlejuice 2 and Roadhouse.
I saw
Like,
that they're remaking Night Court. They're making a new Night Court episode.
no,
So
nobody will
I
replace
screamed at my TV. I was like, "How fucking dare you!"
How dare you?
Oh,
because they have no original IDs. Their
Exactly.
AI can't come up
They'll-
with anything new because it's programmed by us.
They'll reboot Alf before your wages
Oh, please don't. Please
rise.
don't. And you know what? I fucking loved that show as a kid too. That's
No,
how
me
sad it
too. Don't get
was.
me wrong. Like,
I loved that
yep.
he wanted to eat the cat. You
Mhm.
know, it was funny. Oh, 80s sitcom TV. And they wonder what's wrong with Generation fucking X. We were raised by 80s sitcoms thinking that the world fucking looked like that. Different
Yep.
Strokes and Family Tides. And
Mhm.
there were so many. There were
And
so
now,
many.
now they're taking all these nostalgic shows and forcing us to have these like
Oh, yeah.
20-year late
Yeah.
open casket
Ugh.
funerals for them, and then
Won't even watch.
wondering why we're not bitter. Like, come on! Like, how are we supposed to
Yeah.
enjoy this?
Like the Will and Grace. I was a
yeah.
huge Will and Grace fan in the 90s. I
Mhm.
fucking loved Will and Grace. I thought it was smart. I thought it was cutting
Mhm.
edge, especially for where we were in the 90s
Yeah.
on social issues.
Yep.
And then they do the remake, and Deborah Messing's out there just blabbing everything. And I'm just like, nope, I can't fucking watch it. You should
Yes.
just keep your mouth shut.
Messing it up, you might say.
Yeah, totally messing it up. Oh, God. Yeah, that was a good one, Jesse.
You're welcome, Chad. That's my little gift to you. You
If
thought
I
you were
had
just
my
getting
stream
music,
deck
but no.
going, I would give you the applause, but my stream deck's not on tonight. Damn.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I
All right.
didn't know I needed sound effects tonight. I'll
Uh,
bring them next
Do I have
time.
my? Oh no, I normally have a slide whistle on standby, so if I really let one rip, I can just go.
That's funny.
There we go.
There
Okay,
you
we're
go.
back. We're good.
Yeah, Alf did cough up a fur ball when asked about the cat. That's
Yep.
funny. He always will.
Classic Alf.
I was thinking about this Sledgehammer. I fucking loved Sledgehammer. I don't know if you remember this. He was a on the edge cop. He was a detective with a big gun, and he had stupid puns. And he always got the girl in the end. It was a half-hour thing. Oh, it was a funny.
Oh my God, I gotta check that out. Okay.
Oh yes, you do. Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer.
You will laugh your ass off. Pretty funny. Well, Jesse, how long you want to hang out? I know it's getting late there. It's about what 10 o'clock there. I don't want to keep you too late.
Yeah.
I know you're a working man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to do another piece or two. I don't know how much time you got. Yeah. You want another song? You want a spoken word? Or you want both?
Give us both. I'm sure.
All right. We were talking about electoralism, and how disheartening that was. And talking about people really bending the knee to Israel. I wasn't gonna. I was like, I'm not gonna talk about any of the candidates coming out. There's no need to.
Right.
And then I watched an awful lot of people get on the RFK boat.
Oh my God, that was so gross.
And then pretty quickly I was like, okay, I'll humor them. And I was like, okay, now's the time to abandon ship, guys. And most people did, thankfully. There's some people are still clinging on. There's some people clinging on really, really hard. And like at this point, like come on.
He's not burning.
So there was one person in particular who really doubled down with him hard, to the point that she started riding the RFK train and just going to war with people. And I was like, you know what? I want to write an RFK piece, but I want it through the eyes of someone that's just so enamored with him that he can do no wrong. And whatever he greenlights, then by God, I'm on board. I'm with it, right down to genocide. And so, this was my RFK Jr. piece off the new album. This is called Pull String.
Oh, I'm excited because I have one of these in my life and it breaks my heart. Like, I'm constantly barraging them with emails. Like, you need to watch this. Watch what he said. It's heartbreaking.
All right. Yeah, here we go. This is Pull String. Her hands are bound behind her candidate, who found the perfect hill on which to lay it down for good, who she might not agree with on apartheid or celebrating war crimes, but talks just like she could. He's got the IDF's back and the CIA's back like a Democrat should. Mr. Anti-Establishment didn't start the fire, but he's slipping on his hood. Her voice is grafted to a candidate who might not always speak for her, but what is she to say? And why bother harping on an issue that Americans won't listen to? It seems like such a waste. But what activism is saying they don't give a shit, but if I don't, why would they? So way to rob yourself of agency, then chain yourself to genocide and look the other way.
Yeah, I love to see a fella running as a Democrat, taking stacks of money from a GOP super PAC, calling out corruption in this giant fucking country club he's clearly been accepted at, but wants to be the leader of. He knows which way the money runs, knows it paves a leader's path, and human rights for Palestine historically don't lead to that, so he will not address it, as he doesn't see a need for that. Now, welcome to the attitude our country's politicians have displayed toward Palestinians since back before they cracked the will of Arafat. And so the story goes forever after. We do not speak the P word here or recognize the NABCA. All you'll find are sea lions who volunteered as actors, barking like a manuscript from NAFTA. All you'll find are insulated sycophants intent on justifying why the slaughter done in Palestine is not a voting matter. We'll tell that to Shireen Abu Akleh. Tell that to the children growing up inside a city where the walls are made of shackles. Tell that to a mother who is burying her baby, how her son is not our problem because we'll never see his grave. He's just a topic we can mute, or we can scroll right past his face and all those videos of mourners being beaten at his wake. So stuff your poll on what the average voter sees as urgent. They don't get to know the half of what we use as our detergent when we launder all our ISIS cells, our cartels, and insurgents. We do not elect the man behind the curtain. We elect the poll string diversion. We elect the lesser evil donors pre-selected best to do unto the Arabs as we did unto the Persians, and do unto the Muslims as instructed by the merchant who provided you with HIMARS that can vaporize a person back into the dust in which we all will find immersion. One arms dealer's Jenin is another dealer's Curson, and both are just a mark that Lockheed Martin smells a purse on. And voters are the hollow thralls that Congress put a curse on, to vote against their interests every 4 years till they die. And if you show them Palestine, cry better them than I. Though the curse of occupation's taken place within their mind, they will always love their prison, long as they are shown the sky. They will sing about their freedoms under Apple's watchful eye, as puppets dance and sing should you so pull their strings and wires. And they will rally round the man who bears a torch and bears it high, and believe him when he tells them that he's here to stop the fire. We are cursed to love our prison and keep lifting up our liars. We are not behind the wheel. We're being crushed beneath the tires. And our blood is in the oil and the plastic on the wipers. And our blood is on the hands of those who cranked inflation higher. And blood is on a vest where press can barely be deciphered, put there by a few Israeli snipers who were aiming at the center mass of truth about American desires. That you can call us any story. We're a nation built of buyers, and we love a good parade. It always makes us feel inspired, like, who cares that those were Nazis? Gosh, they had the whitest smiles. So I wouldn't bank on sequels to the Nuremberg trials. If they happen now, they would be confidential, Pfizer style, redacted paragraphs and empty vials, close to 80 years before they share their files. Well, luckily, your lesser evil logic lets you justify the nations we've defiled. Lesser evil logic lets you cast a vote for someone that you know is truly vile. Lesser evil logic sees another million bodies thrown upon its hoarder's pile, extending out for miles. So every line I've had to scrap, I've turned back into bile. So don't you touch that dial, lest the feds come swarm your door. I guess it isn't safe to say things like, I don't support the war. Or may Palestine know freedom from the Jordan to its shores. Or I'd love to see our senators get trampled by the poor. Any poll-string Dem will tell what they're allowed to stand up for, and how little things like Palestine are better off ignored. Call it voter outreach for some desperate remoras when that shark from which they get their scraps starts polling on the floor. And the shark says those who live beneath a brutal occupation should be thankful for their freedoms and their rubble and their gore. And I swear it only makes those bottom feeders love him more. One in particular is beaming for her candidate, who found that perfect hill on which to make his final stand. And she will not be deterred by all those pesky little war crimes, will not be deterred by his support for stolen land. He helps her come to terms with how to spin an occupation, and forgiving the oppressor is the democratic way. She says her voice is grafted to the candidate who speaks for her. And every time you pull her string, she's nothing new to say. And that's pull string.
I love full string. I play all of these. So if you drop something on your channel, it's going on my very next show as my opener. You can ask on my chat.
You're the
They get
best. I know. Thank you
everything
so much.
because I love it.
Seriously.
You so put to words everything we're seeing, we're feeling, and the hypocrisy of it all just so blatant in our damn faces, and we feel powerless to do
Yeah.
anything. And
Yeah.
your music conveys that from it's guttural. And that's how you reach
Thank
people.
you.
And I think you're
Seriously,
going to
thank you.
keep reaching people because you've moved me. And
I can't
that's
stop. Even if I wanted to, I can't stop.
right. I can't stop either. I can't stop. I went into
Yep.
politics to support Bernie Sanders, and here we are. I never set out to be a streamer. I never set out to
Yep.
do any of this, and
Right.
here we are. So I can't stop because we're fighting for each other, and that's what it's
Absolutely.
always been about.
Absolutely.
Always.
Yep.
We're forgotten down here, and that's why I call myself the Trailer Park Pundit. I live in the trailer park,
Yep.
The end of January, we go to the food bank. That's the
Mhm.
reality and has been my reality
Yep.
since the day I was born.
Yeah.
And no matter how hard we fight and we work in this system, we're not going to break out. No, we're just getting paid the
Exactly.
bare minimum. Even if you land a
Yep.
good job in my town, you're going to get maybe $4 or $5 above minimum wage,
Mhm.
unless you have some big fancy, and then it's all who you know to get those jobs. People like,
Yep.
the people I know, they don't break out of this poverty cycle. And,
Yeah.
that's why I fight. I fight because everybody in my family got swindled by a small town doctor into an opiate addiction. And I mean, everybody in
Yeah.
our fucking town, every grandma, aunts, uncles, nephews, nieces, it didn't fucking matter. Oh, you have an ache. Here's the fucking
Here's some
cure.
pills. Yep.
And they just swept it under the table. Pfizer had to pay this or had to pay that, or
Yeah.
Purdue. And we just changed our name, and they changed the drug. They've got a whole entire nation fucking addicted. If they're not
Yeah.
on the streets taking fucking fentanyl,
Mhm.
they're taking the mat assisted drugs that come from big pharma, the
Yeah.
Suboxones. And I'm not saying that's not saving lives. It is saving lives, but those lives would have never been in danger if big pharma and the fucking greed
Exactly.
wasn't allowed to be unleashed on us. I mean, we can look
Yep.
back and see when this shit fucking started in the 90s, when they
Yep.
started allowing big pharma advertisement on TV. Remember when we first started seeing the
Yeah.
first big pharma ads, and
Yep.
we were like, what the,
Yeah.
may cause side effects,
Yeah.
like, and they list
Oh,
off all the side effects. You're like,
speaking
damn.
of, there was a drug commercial last night, and I had to do a double take. So all of a sudden I heard what he said, and I looked, and at the bottom of the screen, there was the quick rundown of the most possible side effects. And one of them was like, you may experience a disconnect, a feeling of disconnect from your body, space, and time. And
Wow.
actually seeing those words right now, I was like, is this a skit? And then I realized it's the ketamine nasal spray.
I was like, what drug
That's
is
what
that?
this, I was like,
I
oh,
wanna
so
try that.
you mean a K-hole. You might experience a fucking K-hole.
Oh my God.
Call it what it is, please.
Fuck, I know. Think about it. I mean, in Denver, they're allowed to K-hole whoever they fucking
Yeah.
want. Like, they can tackle your ass and K-hole you. The paramedics.
God.
This is the reality we fucking live in.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
being used in prisons. And now that everybody's microdosing, it took the fun out of doing acid, I gotta say. I
Oh,
used to do
man.
the mind expanding things, but now that everybody's doing it, it kind of scares me. Like, I
Mhm.
don't want to be around that many people who think that they know what the
You're
next
right.
reality is. God, just stick to this one. It's scary enough.
Oh, right. This exactly.
Well,
Oh.
it's been fun, Jesse. I'm going to
Yep.
let you out of here. Thank you so much. I wish you so much success, and keep, please, putting words to how we feel and the hypocrisy that we're seeing out
Absolutely.
there. Thank
If you
you
want,
so
I can play you out with Dust to Better Days.
Yes,
If you want me to take you out with that, okay,
please.
perfect.
I normally have a closer. I didn't bring a closer because I figured you
This
play us out.
This actually, I have to bust out the right-handed guitar. When my grandfather passed recently, I inherited one of his guitars, and
Aw.
obviously I'm a lefty, so it's not the easiest thing to play backwards.
The chat
but
noticed you were a lefty.
I wrote Dust to Better Days on his guitar, fiddling around upside down. I
Wow.
wrote that little part, and then I was like, I want to record it with that. So it's actually, I can't do it left-handed because it's not the same. I'm too used to
Not the
this now.
same. Yeah.
So
yeah.
this was one of those songs I wanted to really like strip down and get across to people like how far we've gone down fascism, what we are justifying and
Yes.
accepting
Yes.
every day. and this seemed like the best way to do it. So yeah, thank you again, you and Oz. This was a blast, as I knew it would be.
Oh yeah,
And,
it was so much fun.
yeah,
I
love
love
you guys
hanging out
so
with
much.
you,
So
and I
yeah,
so hope that our
anytime.
paths cross in real life again, so I can give you a big
Right?
squeeze. Yeah, I adore you. You know
Definitely.
everything you do. I'm out here gonna
Yep.
push. So thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. All right. Yeah, here's this is Dust of Better Days.
SWAT team took your neighbor today. Watch them as they walked him away. You told yourself extremists come in all different shapes. Met his eyes and lowered your gaze. But is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days, they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to be safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Sheriff, stop your daughter today. Pepper sprayed her twice in the face. He must have had good reason if he'd treat her that way. At least that's what they taught you to say. Is it too late for us to ever change? Once we're collecting the dust of better days, and they're always watching us, but we're never safe. We're not meant to feel safe, not meant to escape. We aren't meant to wake. Feds arrived and had you detained. Said you'd made some posts they want changed. Tased you till you felt like you'd forgotten your name. Or life before they had you contained. Oh, life before they had you contained. SWAT team took your neighbor today.